Hello?
What's up, big dog?
Nothing, man. Chilling. Trying to feel normal. I'm pretty much back at this point.
Okay, that's what I was going to ask. Yeah, if you're feeling back to some relative normalcy.
Yeah, it's been what? It's been like 9 days, I guess, since it happened. So
yeah,
I'm almost there, I think.
Good.
I've been playing video games. One of the listeners sent me some games, so I've been playing them. And
really,
yeah,
shit,
yeah.
Who sent you some games?
God damn it! I threw away the package.
Hey, you know what?
Cinnamon.
You've had a brain issue. It's okay that you don't remember.
I looked through all of our text messages, and he's never said his name in the entire time we've been talking.
Okay, well then that's his fault. You're putting the ball back in his court, and I like that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But yeah, I've been playing video games. I've been getting really into the Mike Tyson podcast.
Oh yeah, I saw a couple of those over on your Twitter. Those have been fun. Those weird supercuts of him changing the subject a bunch and crying.
Yeah, the whole show is basically about how he smoked DMT and realized everything he did in his life was negative and wrong, and he's ashamed of it deeply, and he's trying to make it better and atone for all his wrongdoings.
Did he recently smoked DMT, or was this just as recently as he has been hanging out with Joe Rogan?
I think like probably 2018, 2019.
Oh, okay, yeah.
He smoked some toad venom, and he's been out of his mind ever since. Well, he was already out of his mind, but now he's fixed, apparently.
Now, is toad venom a euphemism, or is it literally toad venom?
No, I think it's literally toad venom.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
He won't stop bringing it up on every single episode. It is truly like the Joe Rogan podcast. It's very bizarre.
Yeah.
If Joe Rogan and his friends were down to cry a lot more. But yeah, he brings it up all the time on his podcast. He brings up the same stories all the time, because it's also they smoke weed the entire time on the podcast. It's very bizarre. He'll talk about his friend getting shot right next to him, like he's just talking about the weather, and then he'll burst into tears talking about when Muhammad Ali fought Joe Frazier.
So it's like hanging out with Rick Shapiro.
Yeah, basically.
Have you ever done that? Have you had to drive Rick Shapiro around?
No, I haven't.
He's a comedy legend, Rick Shapiro. He's one of the people. He's very funny on stage, and you are not entirely sure the night won't end with you having to knife fight him. Yeah, the one time I gave Rick Shapiro a ride to the West Side Comedy Theater from his home in Los Feliz, we went through every human emotion, and that is pretty much a 30-minute ride.
Yeah,
we managed to hit all.
It's long enough to go through all of them.
We hit every single one of them, and also kept being like wanting me to play the song "The Green Green Grass of Home" by Tom Jones. So,
all right.
So there was just an ambient Tom Jones thing happening on top of him, just ranting and railing, and then also, getting very close to tears. And it was a wild 30 minutes. It's one of the most emotionally packed 30 minutes of my life.
Was he on toad venom?
Who's to say?
All I know is Mike Tyson did toad venom and it saved his life. And now he has a podcast where he cries a lot. It's a good time.
Yeah.
He literally I was just watching it. He told a story where he couldn't find his car in a parking lot, so he just left it and bought a new car.
Which parking lot? We got to go to Vegas and find this car and just steal it.
Yeah.
You'll never know.
Yeah, I don't know. If we have a time machine, we can go back to 85 when he was blasted on cocaine, leaving Rolls Royces at Target or whatever.
And it was someplace like that too.
Yeah, absolutely. He's not a fancy guy. He'll buy a Rolls Royce, but he won't take it to somewhere nice.
Right.
And I mean, what did we look up to him for? Beating the shit out of people? Like, can we really say we're shocked by everything else? Oh, remember when we were talking about the Mike Tyson podcast the first time with the Dana White interview?
Yeah.
And do you remember there's a clip of him falling off a hoverboard really fucking hard?
Yes.
He had to get back surgery because of that.
No.
Mike Tyson can also barely walk.
Yeah. And yet he's planning to fight Chris Jericho in AEW.
I hope they get it done, Yeah.
That's the last Mike Tyson news that I heard.
Oh, he'll say anything now that he has this podcast.
Well, no, he's on their TV now. He's
oh, really?
Yeah, he's on AEW sometimes, and Chris Jericho, I think, challenged him.
Nice. I hope he doesn't, because he probably shouldn't be doing it at all. But
yeah, well, he shouldn't be doing it at all. But if he's gonna do one of them, I would much rather see him do pro wrestling than actually getting fucked up in a boxing ring.
Yeah. Mike Tyson should just keep smoking toad and chilling out on his podcast. And, it's real disappointing. Mike Tyson is friends with Donald Trump.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, Don King, his promoter, famously a Republican too. So,
and who else is friends with Donald Trump? I found out from the Mike Tyson podcast, Dennis Rodman.
Yeah, I knew that. Yeah, because the North Korea thing, he was the facilitator of the meeting between Kim Jong-un and Donald Trump in North Korea.
Yeah, but apparently they're friends long before that.
That makes sense. As many people have pointed out, Donald Trump is a poor person's idea of a rich guy. That's kind of his aesthetic, right? And and to some extent, very wealthy athletes are also a poor person's idea of a rich guy. They're kind of in the same category of like, oh, well, shit, if I was fucking Nolan Ryan or, if I was Michael Jordan, I'd put a fucking jacuzzi next to a fishing pond so I could fish from the jacuzzi. Hell yeah. Like shit like that. And these guys live that life. So that does, Dennis Rodman, Mike Tyson, none of that surprises me because they're kind of, as far as aesthetics go, sort of in the same category as Trump. I think all of them probably have gold toilets.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah. Mike Tyson bought a $7 million chain.
What?
Yeah.
Why? What a horrible idea.
Yeah, apparently he spent like his last $7 million on it.
I mean, if you told me Trump did that, I'd be like, yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah.
That's what you do. Like you said, that's what you do when you're a poor person who suddenly has a shitload of money. Yeah. You have no idea what you're supposed to do with it.
You buy a $7 million chain?
Yeah. Apparently his ex-wife got in the divorce, so.
That's why you don't get a chain.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why you put that $7 million into Florida real estate so they can't take it from you, you dipshit. What are you doing?
He didn't know all about that. All he knew is expensive chains and tigers and buying cars that you just lost in a parking lot.
Yeah, see, a judge can order that you have to turn all of those things over, but if you buy a house on Star Island in Biscayne Bay, they can't fuck with you.
No, that's yours forever.
Yeah. Have you watched any of the Undertaker documentary, The Last Ride? Speaking of,
no, I haven't.
The old washed up fighters.
Did he say something racist yet?
No, no, thankfully not. As of this recording, as of whatever today is, June as of June 24th, they have not asked him about the police, which is good. Don't ask him. I don't want to know. But the series ended with him essentially retiring. That was the big scuttlebutt. It premiered, and then at the end of it, he's like, I mean, if Vince needs me, if Vince is in a pinch, then I guess I'll go back. But as of right now, I'm happy. I'm good.
And the shocking thing about that is he didn't retire like years ago.
Well, that's kind of the arc of the documentary. Is
he should have retired a while ago.
Literally, dude, that's what it's about. Like the first chapter, it shows all these great matches that he had close to 10 years ago. The series with Shawn Michaels that a lot of people consider his two best matches, which is when he should have quit. It's when Shawn quit. And if he and Shawn had quit at the same time, that would have been a wrap on a legendary career. But then the documentary starts pretty much right after that, when he has the Triple H matches, which are, okay, but diminishing returns. And then after that, every year just gets kind of worse and worse. And that's what the documentary is following him around. After every match, he's like, oh, damn, I just want one more good match. Because he keeps having these awful things where like either he gets concussed or Triple H, rips his pec. Like all these awful things just keep happening and he can't walk away. So finally you get to the last chapter and they did that Boneyard match that we watched. And he's just like, dude, I'm not going to beat that. That's perfect. Great way to go out. And I agree. I'm like, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's smart on him to just give up now. I'm sure the past 10 years his fucking wife and kids have just been following him around going, please stop. Just please do it for me. Please stop doing this.
Oh, they keep interviewing his wife, and she, every single time he goes back to wrestling, she's just like, oh God, okay. It's pretty wild.
He can probably barely walk, let's be honest.
Yeah, well, he's had both of his hips are fake now. Mm-hmm. He's got two hip replacements.
Yeah. What have you been up to?
I got to go get a goddamn ladder tomorrow. At Home Depot. I have to get a ladder now because my cucumbers are, I think, 11 feet tall, and so I need to find a way to like attach the vines to the little like the bamboo poles that I keep extending them with. So now I have to buy a fucking ladder to keep my cucumber plants traveling skyward.
You can't just stand on a chair?
No, they're too tall.
Can't get Luke to hold you up?
Luke ain't that much taller than me. Oh, to hold me up. Oh yeah, maybe so. Yeah. So anyway, that's my
crazy.
Yeah.
I was thinking of ladders today because I remembered one time I was at the Lyric Hyperion to midnight open mic, and that hallway in the back of the Lyric, there's like a ladder laying on the floor, and some open mic comic was sleeping on the ladder. It was like midnight on a fucking Wednesday.
Oh my God.
It's just like, yeah, Jesus Christ.
How many of those people do you think have taken this time to realize that that's unhealthy? Like how many of those people are just gone now? If comedy ever starts back, of people who would end up sleeping on a goddamn ladder because they accidentally
did too
many legs.
It's so hard to tell at this point because it's like, are people gonna want it even more since they've been cut off to it, or they just realize like
it's fucking pointless?
Yeah, it can be if you're fucking sleeping on ladders in the hallway of a coffee shop that calls itself a theater.
Yeah.
And not to mention the floor of that place is disgusting in general.
Gross, dude. Yeah.
But then also to add sleeping on top of a ladder. Why not just go with the floor at that rate?
The longer that it just isn't around, the more ridiculous all of these things sound, I think, to people.
I know, it really does. It sounds it sounded fucking insane when it happened, but now in retrospect, it's like demented.
Yeah, totally.
It's like that person should be locked up, and so should I for being around it.
Yeah, for being an accessory to madness.
To be like, there's a person sleeping on a ladder. I can't wait till I get called so I can go up 4 feet away on the other side of this fucking wall.
Yeah.
And do comedy.
And no one will laugh, and then I'll go home.
And the host will heckle me. and turn on a fog machine because it was like one of those shitty fucking mics. It was like a real energy killer.
We did a live show once with Kyle Clark and the Mean Boys, and Kyle brought his fog machine, but he's got a fog machine, and this was at the Nerdist, which is a fairly small room, and Kyle has the kind of fog machine that's meant to fill like a small, like, you know, rock club. So when the show started, like, they hit the theme music and we all came out on stage and Kyle set off the fog machine and it legitimately filled the entire room. Like you couldn't see the stage for the first like 5-6 minutes of the show. It was so
every time I've seen a comedy fog machine attempt, it's been a fucking disaster.
There's something funny about the disaster, though. I don't know.
I mean, I get in theory why the fog machine at a comedy show is funny, and it is for that reason, but in practice, it fucking sucks. I mean, you were in a room full of this. You know how bad that shit fucking tastes and smells, and once it gets in the air, that's mostly why I hate it. They're cool otherwise.
Yeah.
But it's like I always say, if you have a fog machine, you also got to have a strobe light. Otherwise, you're just wasting everybody's time.
Yeah. Well, shit. Sam, where can people find you on the internet?
Slam Harder at Twitter and Instagram.
Well, cool, man. We'll try it. I'll call you again tomorrow if you want to do this again.
Oh, nice.
All right. Well, I'll talk to you later, man.
Yeah, man. Have a good night.
All right. Peace.
Bye.
All right. One more time. That was our friend Sam Harder. Follow him on all forms of social media at Slam Harder. And now, let's talk to Luke Jensen. This was sent to us by our friend Paulo. This is from Palm Beach, Florida, a county meeting that they had just a couple nights ago.
Anger erupted after a unanimous vote to make masks mandatory. This turned downright ugly. Here was the scene.
You literally cannot mandate somebody to wear a mask knowing that that mask is killing people. It literally is killing people. And we the people are waking up, and we know what citizen's arrest is because citizen's arrests are already happening. Okay? And every single one of you that are obeying the devil's laws are going to be arrested. And you, doctor, are going to be arrested for crimes against humanity.
This very tiny woman is going to arrest a bunch of people. The way they layered these on CNN was perfect because they just get funnier and funnier.
With humanity today is ignorance, arrogance, and apathy. Keep taking the road of least resistance. Keep listening to the TV brainwashing you from birth.
And they want to throw God's wonderful breathing system out the door.
What? There's the one. That's the golden one. They want to throw God's perfect breathing system out the door. Oh. I mean, as many people, you know, chief among them biologists have pointed out, really the arrangement of the mouth and throat being connected is sort of a bad design, you know?
Oh, yeah. There's a bunch of shit in the body that's a bad design because it's not a design. It's like solving one problem to the next, not a long-term vision, you know?
Yeah, exactly. It's okay.
So when you solve one problem to the next, you end up with like all this loop-de-loop shit that doesn't need to be there, but that because of the process of each problem getting solved at a time, it's all fucking in crazy places and shit.
Right. What's the three things we need? Food, air, and water. Let's take them all in the same hole.
Exactly, yeah.
What a fucking horrible idea. So, let's finish it here.
I really have many question marks about your degrees and what you really know. I'm sorry, ma'am, but I don't think that you are worthy of your credentials. And I would ask suggestively that you go back to school and get educated.
So, I mean, the truth is, like, we started playing the song because it's called Corona, but truly, welcome to Jackass. The only way to describe it. That's goddamn Florida. My name is Rivers Langley. This is Luke Jensen. This is the motherfucking Corona Diaries. Oh, God. Florida is officially now, numbers-wise, where New York was at the end of March.
Oh, good.
So, yay!
Yeah. Well, of course it's fucking Florida.
Yeah, they reported 5,511 new cases of COVID on Wednesday. Again, shattering a single-day record.
Yeah.
So, and then meanwhile, we've got, the craziest people of all time yelling at a doctor,
Yeah.
A person who, and, granted, my faith in doctors was shaken when I found out about Ben Carson, but I got over it. I trust most of them
or Dr. Oz. Plenty of famous doctors.
There's plenty of bad, but I can at least trust on some level that this person has studied more than I have.
Yeah. God, there's so many goddamn examples of horribly designed systems in the body.
I love that. God's wonderful breathing system is what she says. Yeah.
I love it. I love it when intelligent design people bring up the eye as perfect design. It's oh, that's because you haven't studied the eye. If this was designed well, first off, half of everyone has shitty eyes.
I was about to say,
what are you talking about?
I'm wearing a physical embodiment of the eye being bad design right now.
Yeah, it's also, why you have a blind spot in your vision is because the optic nerves are installed backwards and they have to feed back into the eye. So there's a little spot where they can't collect any. It's it's fucked up.
Yeah.
They're all fucked up.
My favorite was once upon a time, they had Kirk Cameron, that great scientist, Kirk Cameron, on, I believe it was the Bill O'Reilly show. And his argument for intelligent design was, just look at the banana. Look how it was perfectly designed to be held in the hand of a person. And it's dude, there is no more genetically modified anything than the banana. The banana that you eat in 2020 would be unrecognizable in 1908. The original banana got such a bad blight that it is extinct now. The current banana that we eat,
the Cavendish.
The Cavendish, yeah exactly. Yeah, because the old one went extinct because we bred it into a corner. So.
Oh yeah, and it's gonna happen eventually with the Cavendish too, probably sooner than later.
Right. So but it's just it's no, this is actually a perfect demonstration of artificial selection done under a very short amount of time. Natural selection on a long enough time will yield a similar thing.
Yeah.
So. By the way, related to the Florida story as far as COVID goes, and this will surprise absolutely nobody. Pro Wrestling Sheet has learned multiple people in WWE who have been at the Performance Center tested positive for COVID-19 this week, including in-ring talent. The perils of Leroy Jenkinsing this shit. Make themselves known.
The NBA is supposed to restart in Disney World. They're flying they're flying 22 of the 30 teams in. They picked the 8 teams that are we're so far out of the playoff picture that they're there's no reason to bring you in,
Wait, the season didn't even start and they were just fuck y'all?
No, there was the season was 60 games into an 82 game season when they stopped.
Oh, really? It was that far in?
Yeah, it was most of the way in. But so at that point, there were 8 teams where it was you're already eliminated from the playoffs. There's no reason to bring you in just to get COVID.
Okay.
So they're bringing 22 teams in. And then
who the dirt teams? Who's the dog meat? Who got left?
Oh God, I don't know if I can name them all off the top of my head, but Minnesota's for sure one of them.
Oh, buddy, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry to hear that.
That's fine. They're trash every year except for when Jimmy Butler is there destroying the locker room. Yeah, so they're flying 22 teams in, and they're gonna the plan is to keep them in this little bubble, isolated away from everyone. And they're all just going to play at Disney World. I guess there's a court there.
Yeah.
There's basically 2 reporters that are the kings of NBA reporting. And there's this guy, Shams Charania, is one of them.
Okay.
And he was tweeting today, and he was Malcolm Brogdon has tested positive for coronavirus. He is planning on joining the team. And I was wait, what the fuck? What is the context to this?
What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Does LeBron have to do that? If I'm LeBron James, I'm just going to be no.
There are players that are sitting out.
Yeah.
For various reasons.
I can see if you're just a bench rider on some whatever team, you kind of are all right, I'll take the money. But if you're LeBron or one of the big stars, it's I'm not doing that.
Yeah. Well, I think the thing is, they're going to play a couple regular season games and then they're going to have a playoffs. So it's they still want to win the championship and that type of stuff.
Why?
Yeah.
It's going to be winning the Oscar in 2020. It's who gives a shit?
Right. It's
this year is a mulligan. Everything this year doesn't count. This is a gap year.
Yeah.
If you manage to live through it, you're allowed to forget it.
The Oscars this year are going to be between Trolls World Tour and Bloodshot. Oh, God. I cannot wait for Vin Diesel to finally get the recognition he deserves in award season.
That's what I want too, man.
Yeah.
That movie, I wish it was better. I really do.
I know. It's not even good in the way that Fast and the Furious movies are good, or that Triple X is like bad good. It's not even that. It's just like...
well, that happened to me. I suppose that happened.
Mm-hmm. It's like movies that like MMA fighters in 2007 were starring in.
Yeah,
except with more money.
Right. Yeah, it's like Uwe Boll is like mad he didn't direct that.
Yeah.
Sources say that more testing will now be done by WWE's medical team before this week's TV production. So the past couple weeks on TV, they've had an audience. But it's been an audience of quote-unquote friends and family. And they're sitting behind these giant glass walls like it's like a hockey game or something. And now they're getting rid of that because of this.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, this was what was going to happen. I don't know what you guys thought.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But they're both doing it. Like AEW is also running shows too. So even like the quote unquote woke company, they're also putting just as many people at risk. So everybody's
I've been
bad.
watching UFC events because they're putting one of those on basically every week at this point.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing. It's like weird with no audience.
Yeah.
But that fucking company, that's also like Dana White is like best friends with Trump and like,
Yeah.
the whole company's fucked, but they also have all of the talent. So it's like, what else are you going to watch?
Yeah. WWE released a statement on Wednesday saying that we will continue COVID-19 testing of our talent, production crew, and employees in advance of TV productions for the foreseeable future. Prior to last week, the company had been doing temperature checks and other measures to make sure people entering the Performance Center were in good health. But apparently, like from what I've heard, the temperature check consists of one of those like laser guns where they just shoot it at your head and it tells you what temperature you are.
Oh, good. Yeah.
So it's not even like they're not even sticking anything in your mouth. It's literally like, okay, you seem sufficiently warm.
Yeah.
And that's been kind of it. So I don't know. But yeah, that's what's happening down in Florida.
Yeah. Well, surprise, WWE isn't looking after the health of their employees.
You know, it's
Who saw that coming?
I know. Speaking of which, patreon.com/thegoodspod. Pat and I are watching UWF's Blackjack Brawl, not a WWE pay-per-view from 1994. So that'll be going up later this week. So if you want to hear some more wrestling talk, head on over to Patreon. There is in North Carolina, follow up from last week, we talked to Alex Schmidt, who's been sheltering over in Durham, North Carolina. Their governor, citing bad coronavirus trends, they extended phase 2 and they have issued a mask mandate. So North Carolina, and we played this video last week of a woman from Reopen NC, which is their like insane right-wing person, just being like, I'm doing a burn your mask challenge. And she like lit her mask on fire. So, I mean, we're like fucked, right?
Yeah, I wonder. I mean, like when I go to the grocery store and stuff, I mostly see everyone wearing a mask.
Well, that's here. Yeah, I mean, just America's fucked. We're not. We'll die last. You know.
Yeah.
And also,
well, now would be a perfect time for the big one to hit California, though. I mean, just like poetically.
Yeah.
So
everyone's been really good except for Orange County. The big one hits, and Orange County is safe.
Yeah, it's just a little island,
untouched, and the rest of the state goes down in the ocean. Yeah. I still have not. I will not go to Orange County. I'm not stopping my fucking car in Orange County.
Yeah, well, you got to take the mask off so you can praise God louder.
It's wild, man. I was saying like last week, like I had no opinion of Huntington Beach going into the pandemic, and now
really that recently?
Not really.
Okay,
you know what I mean? Like I knew Orange County was like more kind of rich and right wing than everywhere else in this part of California. But like if you'd ask me like, oh, what do you think of Huntington Beach? I'm like, I don't know, rich people, like whatever. And then now I'm like, oh, it's the asshole of the world.
Yeah.
It seems to be Orange County just seems to be the worst place, not just in the state, but right up there with any other place in the whole country.
Well, the way I've always described it is it's a great place to live if you have millions of dollars, but your favorite restaurant is Olive Garden.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly it. Yeah. It's just a huge mall. So it's unsurprising, I guess, that is the culture there is, just like MMA guys,
Oh, yeah. Tito Ortiz, the Huntington Beach bad boy.
Well, we talked about a couple weeks ago, Chuck Liddell going to one of the protests and just kind of wandering around and threatening like kids. It's just like,
Well, that guy doesn't fucking know where he is anymore.
no. Sam talked about that. Yeah. Well, that article was funny because they said like he's a resident of Santa Barbara, but his house is getting remodeled in Santa Barbara, so he's just kicking it in Huntington Beach. I'm like, he didn't even live there. He just was like, we'll go start a fight.
Yeah.
Just wandering around.
Just walking around with his weird facial hair.
Yeah. Claiming that he was trying to inspire kids. But if you see the video, it's literally just him picking a fight with like black teenagers.
God. Well, he's going to come up later in the podcast again.
Chuck Liddell?
He sure is.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
All right. Hell yeah. This is Diamond Bar, California. So this is just right down the road.
Okay.
An off-duty LAPD cop claims that he found a tampon in his Starbucks Frappuccino.
Oh, this one.
As his police union decried the act as a, quote, disgusting assault on law enforcement. The incident allegedly happened last Friday around 2:30 at a Target Starbucks in Diamond Bar, but it only came out in a report Monday evening after a police report was filed, according to Fox 11. The media report, citing sources that the 36-year-old off-duty cop, who was not in uniform, found what he believed to be a tampon in his Frappuccino after using his police union debit card. So he's not in uniform. He's out of uniform.
Yeah.
Pays with a police union debit card. I've worked in fast food. I've worked in restaurants. I don't know if you have.
I was a cashier at a grocery store.
Perfect example. Have you ever looked at someone's credit card?
Never once.
I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
You hand me the thing. I'm gonna swipe. I'm not like, oh, this guy looks like a cop.
Yeah.
I'm not profiling you based on just because you have a goatee and wraparound sunglasses does not mean
Yeah.
that you're a cop. I'm not going to assume that. And I'm not going to look at your credit card because I don't give a shit.
Yeah. No, there's a million different credit cards and I don't give a shit about what any of them are.
Yeah. Only time I've ever actively looked at someone's credit card was when I worked at a grilled cheese sandwich place in Hollywood. And if someone came in and I knew they were famous, but I couldn't put my finger on it,
Okay.
then I'd look and then I still probably wouldn't know, But if I'm working in Diamond Bar, you're not going to be seeing
I'm going to check every single one to see if it's a cop.
Yeah, no, that's ridiculous.
Yeah. It's also fucking... Okay, no, continue.
According to Fox reporter Bill Melugin, quote, I'm told the officer angrily went back inside to confront the staff once he made the discovery. And we'll put the pic... You saw the picture, right?
I saw the picture.
Yeah, we'll put it on our Twitter at The Good Spot so y'all can see it. I want to see that video of the cop coming back in there and being like, what is this? Because it's, as was pointed out on Twitter, it's not a tampon.
No, it's crazy that okay, is it established that the officer definitely planted it type of thing?
Well, so Target looks at the surveillance footage and found nothing suspicious.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Yeah. So yes. So then what's also crazy is that what if you're going to say that it was a tampon, why not just get a fucking tampon?
Why get a real one? Yeah, what are you doing?
Can you not look at it and see that this thing's 8 inches long and
yeah, it looks like a really huge mop string or something. It looks like a rope almost.
It's huge.
Yeah, it is not what they're saying. Yeah, you're right. You should just buy a tampon.
It's so crazy. I don't know what what employee did that come out of? Was there an 11-foot tall Amazon working there?
Right. Yeah. Why is it a foot?
On top of it, just doesn't look like a tampon.
Why is it a foot and a half long?
Yeah.
Yeah. In a scathing statement, the LAPD police union says this disgusting assault on a police officer was carried out by someone with hatred in their hearts who lacks human decency. We hope they are publicly exposed, fired, arrested and prosecuted for their cowardly and repugnant actions. Damn, dude, the LA Police Union got some adjectives, man.
In a way, they're right.
Yeah.
In terms of who perpetrated it and the
Yes.
description.
Yes, exactly.
Fair enough.
LA sheriffs are reviewing the surveillance footage themselves from the store, the report says. So now they're looking at it. It's just infuriating because it is literally police picking on minimum wage employees, first of all, but they're attaching their own mentality of like vengeance and hatred to minimum wage people who, as a person who's almost exclusively worked for minimum wage pretty much my entire life, we're working so hard that we're not thinking about you ever.
Yeah.
You can assume no malice on the part of someone making minimum wage for the most part because you are just order number 52. I don't think people are really stopping to take the time to fuck with cops.
The only one I can think of is not a cop.
Yeah.
Where do you remember that one? There was like a receipt where it got sent around where the name that they put down was like Lady Chinese Eyes or something.
Oh, Christ.
That's her name. And I was like, good Lord.
Yeah, okay. All right. Well, if there's... Actually,
put that,
I'll put this caveat in there. If it's a repeat customer and they are always being an asshole...
Yeah.
Then sure, we know you. If you come in all the time and you're always a fucking problem.
Yeah.
Like when I worked pizza delivery.
Yeah.
At Mellow Mushroom Pizza. We could type in the little notes section, just anything. And so we would write in D&T, just meant does not tip. And GTA meant Golden Tipper Award. And so when you pulled their name back up, you punched in the phone number and it would come back up. It'd be like, oh, Sally Jones, D&T. And you're like, who wants to take this one? And then we would just be like, fuck.
Yeah.
Because you knew she didn't tip. Yeah. But that's as close as you would get to like targeting somebody. And it's just like, this is your fault.
Yeah. Yeah, no,
this is what happens.
Yeah, I just meant to, in like the difference of like there was that one where when the name gets like printed on the receipt and it was like whatever.
Yeah, sure, that's
Lady Chinese Eyes, and I was like, oh Jesus,
yeah, that's bad.
But as opposed to like when there was the cop who got the cup that said like Piggy on it or whatever, and they were like. That didn't happen. That you wrote that.
Yeah, we talked about that last week. It was from McDonald's, and it's like, yo, McDonald's doesn't write names on cups. That's Starbucks, you dipshit. Yeah. McDonald's prints off a little sticky sticker, and they stick it on there. Yeah, I think he wrote like "fucking pig" on there. It's like, yeah, you played yourself, son.
Yeah.
Oh, this was fun. This is from Belafonte or Belafonte. It's got to be Bellefonte. There's no way they're putting accents on the end of the E there. Bellefonte, Pennsylvania. Police say they stopped Robert Albrio Jr. while driving near Bellefonte and charged him with driving on a suspended license. According to the Pennsylvania Department of Transportation, Albrio's license expired in 1997. And he has 8 suspension convictions already. In fact, his driver's license is suspended for the next 56 years. Until 2076. Last week he waived preliminary hearing on the latest charge. So I love that. I love a good serial offender,
That's fucking great. I love that. Wait, he still carried that license around?
Apparently. Or maybe they just ran his tag or
yeah.
Who knows? But expired in 1997. Did you have people like that in your hometown that were just like weird guys that just wandered around and they had shitloads of public intoxes? And
there was a guy, he was a couple years older than me, and he kind of peaked in high school when he was like a star on the basketball team.
Okay.
And then from there on out, he just like nothing went right, and it was largely due to shit he did.
Oh, yeah, always. Yeah.
In his life.
Yeah.
And then it was like kind of his big break was that he won a car, like in a raffle. It was like, fucking finally something went right for me. Fuck yeah, I'm on my way up.
Oh, no.
And then like 2 months later, he's being pursued by the cops and jumps out the door while he's driving.
He ghost rode the whip.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. In the car that he won in the raffle?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And so they impound it and bring it up at auction. And then one of his high school classmates buys it.
Oh my God.
And then he just owns that car. For the fraction of the price.
Damn. That's fucking amazing.
Yeah.
Jesus. Yeah, we had a guy named Cannon who used to walk around our town. Mm-hmm. I don't know how many infractions. Cannon, I don't think he was kind of a goody-goody, but he was nuts. And he told us that he wrote The Phantom Menace. And now, that was when we were 14 or whatever. Now I've had 15 years to think about it or whatever, and maybe. He was nuts. He used to just be like, yeah, I'm a writer, actor, director, and stuntman. And
awesome.
And he said that he was going to be, this man was bald with a nice, beer gut, and he said that he was going to be playing Superman in an upcoming film.
When was this?
This was 1999, 2000.
Okay.
And he said...
How old was he at the time?
Let's see. I'd say he was probably in his early to mid 40s.
Oh, okay. So he's like the weird old guy hanging around.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. At one point he said, we were like, oh, you're playing Superman? That's crazy. Even then we were just being little shits, interviewing him,
Yeah.
And he goes, oh, yes, the red suit is being made as we speak.
The red suit?
Yeah, I suppose the Superman suit. Although it's really a red cape.
Yeah, it's a blue suit.
Blue, yeah. But anyway, minor details, canon, minor details. Yeah. This is from Northwest Georgia. Republican candidate Marjorie Taylor Greene, a professed believer in fringe conspiracy theorist group known as QAnon, is probably headed to Congress after her strong finish in the Georgia primary.
Oh, good Lord. Okay.
I'm just going to play a little section of her political ad that she was running in Georgia that begins with her driving a Hummer through a field with a gun.
I'm Marjorie Greene, and I approve this ad. America's the greatest country in the world. We need conservatives in Washington that will keep it that way. I'm running to stop gun control. Open borders.
She's shooting things on a golf course.
The Green New Deal. And socialism. Democrats fight for their socialist agenda every single day. I'll fight even harder to stop them. I'm Marjorie Greene, Republican for Congress. Save America, stop socialism.
Fighting harder than the Democrats for socialism is pretty easy, by the way. But that's Marjorie Greene shooting a what looks to be probably $8,000 or $9,000 sniper rifle at buckets filled with that chalk shit that Joe Exotic shoots at.
Yeah.
What the hell is that stuff called? I've already forgotten. Tannerite.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Anyway, so she finished first in Tuesday's primary with 41% of the vote in the strongly Republican district in Northwest Georgia, but was shy of the majority, so she'll face a runoff August 11th against physician John Cohen, who trailed her by 20 points. So she's still got to go in a runoff with this guy. So she's going to win.
Yeah.
And what's crazy is the Republicans just got rid of Steve King from Iowa, who was, legendary batshit guy. Now we're getting this lady.
That's, oh my God. That's like a parody of a conservative political ad.
Oh, yeah. Greene would become the first member of Congress to have publicly espoused the view of QAnon, the extremist group that believes Donald Trump is quietly leading a revolution against the satanic, pedophilic deep state. Quote, the Chinese propagandists at the Washington Post, by the way, this is her interview in the Washington Post. The Chinese propagandists at the Washington Post are attacking me the same way they attack Donald Trump and other conservatives. Northwest Georgians are proud, conservative, America-loving patriots, and I won't let them be bullied by the hate America leftists at the Washington Post. So the Post called her for a comment, and that was what she said. Greene's campaign did not answer questions about her support for QAnon, but in a lengthy response attacked Georgia Democrat Stacey Abrams, House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, and Ilhan Omar. Greene has posted videos lifting QAnon conspiracy theories and praising its anonymous leader, Q. Quote, Q is a patriot. He is someone that very much loves his country, and he is on the same page as us. He is very pro-Trump, she said in a 2017 video posted to YouTube. In the video, she talks about a, quote, great awakening that will expose deep corruption and unite Americans behind Trump. Quote, I am very excited that now there's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to take this global cabal of Satan-worshipping pedophiles out. And I think we have the president to do it, she said.
Oh, my God.
She's going to win. This is a new congressperson.
I mean, I guess that's not that shocking considering the types of, like, groups like that Trump has retweeted and that kind of shit.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Like, he does that himself, so it's not that surprising.
Totally. In Oregon last month, Republicans elected a U.S. Senate nominee who believes in QAnon. Joe Ray Perkins bested 3 other candidates to win the Republican nomination to face Senator Jeff Merkley in November. Last week, Green posted a campaign ad in which she cocks an AR-15 rifle and warns Antifa protesters to stay the hell out of Northwest Georgia.
President Trump declared Antifa a domestic terrorist organization. I have a message for Antifa terrorists. Stay the hell out of Northwest Georgia. You won't burn our churches, loot our businesses, or destroy our homes. I'm Marjorie Greene, and I approve this message.
Green said in the ad that was later removed by Facebook for violating its rules against inciting violence. Green's campaign logo is a knockoff of Trump's, and her website includes a photo of her posed between Trump's sons, Donald Jr. and Eric.
Has there been a single church that's been burned?
No.
Yeah, great.
Unless you count Donald Trump tear gassing that one, that one poor reverend at the church next to the White House. I think
true.
That's
the closest.
That's the closest we got.
Any
to
church has been to getting vandalized,
being terrorized. Yeah, exactly. It was when the cops cleared him out for Trump to hold up a Bible.
You know what this reminds me of is, do you remember that Mr. Show sketch where it's like the dueling grocery store commercials?
Yes. Yeah.
And there's the one that keeps saying like, "We do not have rats," and you cut to David Spade like, "We don't. What are you saying? We don't have them either." And she's just saying like, "You are not going to burn down our churches." Like, we weren't going to. What?
Yeah. Well, you've heard the LBJ thing, right? He's like, he was having a very contentious congressional race in Texas, and and told one of his advisors, he goes, "Yeah, put it out to the press that he fucks dogs." And the advisor goes, "What? But he doesn't." He's like, "Yeah, I know. I just want to see him deny it." LBJ, not a great guy, but funny.
Yeah, pretty funny.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, he said, "I just want to see the son of a bitch deny it." But that's exactly what this is.
Mm-hmm.
One last thing, and then we can get into our motherfucking jam of the day.
Mm-hmm.
But there's no other way to close this the news wrap up of this show without this one. There's some names in here I'm just not even going to attempt to pronounce. Lopburi, Thailand. Residents of Lopburi are hiding behind barricades indoors as rival monkey gang fights create no-go zones for humans. The ancient Thai city has been overrun by a growing population of macaques supercharged on junk food as locals try to placate the macaques with snacks. The monkeys usually enjoy a steady supply of bananas from tourists who have dwindled among the coronavirus pandemic.
Oh, I saw a video of this a while back where there's like roving gangs of them like getting in gang wars and stuff.
Yeah, well, that was at the beginning.
That was at the beginning, and now they've just become one large society overtaking the town.
All the humans are just inside all the time because there are just monkeys everywhere. Pointing to the overhead netting covering her terrace, Kuljira T says, quote, "We live in a cage, but the monkeys live outside." So their shit is everywhere. The smell is unbearable, especially when it rains, she says from her home.
Oh my God.
The fearless primate's antics were largely tolerated as a major lure for tourist hordes who descended on the city before the coronavirus outbreak to feed and snap selfies with the plucky animals. But as foreign tourism seized up, so did the free flow of bananas tossed their way, prodding the macaques to turn to violence. Footage of hundreds of them brawling over food in the street went viral on social media back in March, but their growing numbers, up to 6,500, have made an uneasy coexistence with their human peers almost intolerable. So, there's 6,000 monkeys just roaming the streets of this town.
Oh my God. Have any of them started speaking human languages yet? Because
I hope so.
Yeah.
I'm ready. We're it's fine.
Yeah.
You know, it's kind of like the Mississippi state flag. It's like, we can be done with this, right?
Mm-hmm.
Whole humanity thing.
Yeah.
This is the most like Omega Man, post-apocalyptic shit. This sentence right here. An abandoned cinema is the macaques' headquarters.
No fucking way.
Nearby, a shop owner displays stuffed tiger and crocodile toys to try to scare off the monkeys who regularly snatch spray paint cans from his store. I hope they're huffing. It's like, all right, well, we don't get any more bananas, so now we're going to be huffing paint.
Oh my God, I hope they have a little throne in the projection room.
Yeah.
That they all have to like come and pay tribute to.
Absolutely. Nobody in Lotbury seems... This is such a depressing sentence. Nobody in Lotbury seems to remember a time without the monkeys.
Oh no.
With some speculating that the urban creep into nearby forests displaced the simians into the cities. Residents have taken it upon themselves to feed the macaques to prevent clashes, but locals say the sugary diet of fizzy drinks, cereal and sweets has fueled their sex lives. Quote, the more they eat, the more energy they have, so they have more sex, says one resident. So they're hungry for Mr. Goodbar down there.
Yeah.
The macaques mob fights have drawn the attention of authorities who have restarted a sterilization program this month. After a 3-year pause, wildlife department officials lure the animals into cages with fruit and then take them to a clinic where they are anesthetized, sterilized, and left with a tattoo to mark their neutering. They aim to fix 500 of the creatures by Friday. Wow.
Oh man, did they not know they're just creating supervillains with an origin story?
Yeah, exactly. Toisak S., the shop owner in Lotbury, said that despite his daily joust with the creatures, he will miss them if they are removed. This is so sad. I'm used to seeing them walking around playing on the street, he says. If they're all gone, I'll be lonely.
Wait, where is this again?
It's Thailand.
Okay. Jesus.
This is what I want for the rest of the world, honestly. It's at this point...
To be overtaken by various animals.
I mean, what is worse, really? Mm-hmm. COVID or being absolutely overrun by monkeys?
Yeah.
Because at least with the monkeys, it's like, I mean,
we had our shot.
We had our shot.
Yeah, you can take a swing at this.
Yeah, you can kind of see how the wind is blowing and whatnot,
Yeah.
I don't know.
That truly is the opening crawl to some kind of 28 Days Later situation, though.
The monkeys in the movie theater is the funniest shit ever. Yeah. Their headquarters at a local cinema. I want them, reenacting the movies at night and stuff, like when monkeys dressed up like Marlon Brando and in Apocalypse Now.
Yeah, dude. The thing is, though, it's like there's like letters missing from it, and the story of it is like you enter into that city and you hear of the Regal. You must visit the Regal.
Yeah,
and there's this whole built up thing, and then you get there and you realize, oh. It's a rundown movie theater.
It's a theater, yeah. Well, yeah. Last thing we got on the agenda for today is our jam of the day, and today we are taking it up to the Great White North. I'm through with standing in line. It's Nickelback with
it sure is
with their song "Rockstar." We're gonna scroll through the comments on YouTube and see what the people have to say about motherfucking Rockstar by Nickelback. What do you got, Luke? I'm gonna look for some myself.
Let's see. Oh, from 5 days ago. In this current crazy world, we all need a little Nickelback. I love these guys. That's what we need to solve this situation.
The real Rockstar song, OG shit for the win. That was from Moo Moo Gaming from 1 year ago.
Let's see, from Lorraine Schulman, to all the haters out there, no matter what you say about Nickelback, Rockstar, Far Away are works of art.
Diane Neal from 7 months ago, are you kidding? I'd have died and gone to heaven just to do one time through the FBI's training town while blasting Nickelback maxed out on headphones. We had us loudspeakers. It just wasn't the same. Huh? What? At the FBI's train? I guess that's like they run them on an obstacle course like the beginning of Silence of the Lambs.
Uh-huh.
And she wanted it on headphones, but instead they gave it to her on speakers? I don't know. I don't know what she's complaining about here. Diane, what's wrong with you? Brandon Dodge from 8 months ago. Man, I remember being 7 years old when this came out on the FM radio. I wonder if they would still play this on the FM radio still, if requested.
Good question. I don't know.
I like that.
How could we find out?
I like that he remembers being 7 years old when this came out.
Mm-hmm.
But he still calls it, maybe that's a Canadian thing, but why wouldn't he just say radio?
Yeah.
He keeps specifying, like, the fuck are they playing on the AM radio where you can't? Yeah.
That was a time, though, when if you didn't own the physical media of that song, the only way to listen to it was you had to call the radio and request it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we had our local, like, rock station was Tiger 95.9, 104.9, New Rock. And now they changed their frequency. I think it's 93.9 now, but they're always alternative because there is no more new rock that they play on the radio. But in the late 90s, they had the Cage Match, and it was every night where they would play 2 songs, and then you're supposed to call in and then vote on one, and then they would play it again. Mm-hmm. And I don't know how they resolved this problem, but Eminem's "My Name Is" won the Cage Match every time for like weeks and weeks. And the thing is, like, they put that is the only hip hop song they ever played on there. It was just because he was white.
Yeah.
It's the only reason they were playing it is just like, well, he's white, so it must be rock.
Uh-huh.
Like, this is rap though. Like, it made no god, because everything else they played on there was like fucking, Bush, Rage Against the Machine, fucking like that whole like late 90s. Totally. Yeah. And then just randomly they had "Hi, My Name Is." I'm like, you can't just because he's white.
Mm-hmm. Oh, but they did.
Yeah, they did.
Oh, but they did.
And then he won the Cage Match every time.
Yeah. Let's see. From Josefa Fonseca from 1 month ago, I just noticed that this song is a conversation between him and the devil making a deal for his fame. Still love it, though.
Aaron Pelsinger from a year ago. My son loves this son. I mean, song, but still funny.
Yeah.
Dylan Cameron from 2 years ago. Hey, I want to have all stuff too.
All stuff.
I want all stuff. Yeah.
All John Tabian from 6 months ago says, "Don't understand the hate towards Nickelback. This song spoke to the millionaire in all of us."
Oh yeah, sure.
2.2 thousand likes.
Wow. Patrick Murphy 3 months ago. So this is supposed to be the epitome of the awful band that is Nickelback? It's not bad. It's not great, but it's okay. Why did you comment? Who was like, I gotta know what Patrick Murphy thinks about this?
You'll hate this. From Diego 426, this should be the South's national anthem.
Yes, the South of Ontario. This is not on us, okay?
Yeah.
Don't fucking put this on us. This is from Jess Loves John Bateman. A catchy song from a great band. I listened to this way back in kindergarten. Wow, kids can be so innocent until they turn into an adult and go, oh my god, this song is so dirty, LOL. Even I have heard my parents say my brother will sing a song like this when he is an adult. Did not take the hint until now. All right. This is from Rochelle Shelton. Who did this to me? But what a great way to start off. Who did this to me? And there are no periods in this at all.
Yeah.
No punctuation, so if I stumble, I apologize. Who did this to me? But keep on, and I'm going to clean my kids. And I'm leaving. I'm calling the cops on you. Do you understand? Because you did this over and over and over. I'm tired. You just keep on doing it. I'm not going to be Happy Dynasty me. One word, Happy Dynasty. I'm not going to be Happy Dynasty me just to make me upset. And my sisters were upset, and I'm tired of it because you do this every freaking time. You over here, you keep on not having. I want to get my kids from school my way out to work.
Did they have some kind of like text to type thing that they had inadvertently activated while they were screaming at someone?
It's just what is it's not even like one of their relationship songs.
Yeah.
Like if that was on like How You Remind Me, for instance, it's a song about a fucking whatever, a lost love.
Yeah.
And there's like some kids involved. This is like a song about getting fucked up and banging a bunch.
Yeah.
It's like their party song.
Yeah.
I don't know. That one is I love that. Like I said, every one of these comments, it goes for Nickelback and Kid Rock too. It's like I think a lot of these people suffer like an awful head injury and then immediately go to the computer and start typing.
Oh yeah.
comments.
Oh, Kid Rock is in this video, by the way.
What?
Yeah.
Oh shit. I was looking at the way I do these is like, we've got the official video, which is the one I sent you.
Yeah.
And then I'm looking at the other, because they'll post the lyric videos.
Yeah.
Those are sometimes where even the better gold is the off-brand video for the same song.
Okay. Yeah. No, it's a insane collection of celebrities and just people. Let's see, from Ludog Zombies. Last time I heard this song, TikTok was a song and Corona was a beer.
Oh,
That's
no jobs, no cash, no hope. You know what I'm saying, folks?
Women want me and fish fear me. Ludog Zombie has that hat. For sure.
Gunther the Penguin from a year ago. If everyone has a drug dealer, then who deals drugs to the drug dealer? Unless the drug dealers deal drugs to themselves so that they deal out their drugs. Question mark, question mark, question mark. It's called a distributor.
Yeah.
Gunther.
Fucking watch Breaking Bad, dude.
I was going to say, what are you doing? But yeah, anyway, that's the goddamn jam of the day, and that is our show. Luke, where can people find you on the internet?
Twitter and Instagram at Luke F. Jensen.
Hell yeah. And I think we're going to be watching sometime, hopefully before the end of the week, going to be watching Be Water.
Yes, the 30 for 30 about Bruce Lee.
Yeah, and we'll be talking about it on our other podcast, What Did You Learn, with our friend down in New Orleans, Monica Scott. So looking forward to that. Yeah, have you've watched it already?
I've not watched it yet. No.
Okay, I haven't either. I got it downloaded. I'm excited. Yeah, we kind of talked about Bruce Lee. We watched. It's actually a film we watched on Patreon. Called The Last Dragon. That was it's like kind of a blaxploitation / karate film that was produced by Barry Gordy, the president of Motown. It's Motown Productions' last movie. And it's the star, or the main character is named Bruce Leroy. And he's a huge Bruce Lee fan, so this will tie in perfectly with that Patreon, because it's kind of all about Bruce Lee.
I had heard that before, Bruce Leroy, and I didn't know where it came from.
Yeah, it's from The Last Dragon. There's one of the big bad guy is named Shonuff, the Shogun of Harlem. And if you've ever seen the video for Dangerous by Busta Rhymes, he is dressed as Shonuff, the Shogun of Harlem.
Oh, that's incredible.
He's got this crazy fucking hair. It's gnarly. It was a good movie. It was somebody suggested we watch it. And it was one of those things where they suggested, we're like, oh, we'd love to hear your take on it. Me and Sam were both like, it was great.
Yeah.
It was funny. We liked it.
Yeah.
It was cool. We're going to be talking more about Bruce Lee sometime later this week, hopefully, on the old What Did You Learn podcast. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Rivers Langley. You can find Sam Harder over at Slam Harder on Twitter and Instagram. And Carter Glasscock is at Carter_Glass.